Welcome to the Psychic Traineeship. I'm your host, Gabrielle, better known as Gabs, and I'm a psychic medium, trance channeler, and psychic development teacher. And I help women all around the world reconnect to their divine, intuitive feminine and become certified psychics, Akashic record readers, and healers, all through my program called the Psychic Traineeship. So if you're ready to activate your inner psychic, you're in the right place. On this podcast, we're going to be talking about all things intuitive, psychics, mediums. We're going to be talking to special guests. We're going to be talking about astrology, numerology, human design, talking about what it's like to truly live a psychic life and how easy it gets to be. And how good it is when you're connected to your spirit team and how easy life flows. So if you're ready to quantum leap into your most intuitive selves, let's go. What are we waiting for? Let's dive in to this week's episode. Welcome back. It is so good to be back, but also welcome to all the new followers, all the new people finding this. My name's Gabrielle. I'm a psychic medium, Akashic record reader, and psychic teacher. And this podcast is back. So I ran a podcast for over 5 years and I stopped 12 months ago and I'm finally back. So welcome back. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful you're here. And I am so excited to get back in the saddle and teach psychic development on this podcast. But to celebrate the return of having a podcast, I am actually giving away $32,000 worth of scholarships, both partial and full. There is 7 scholarships up for grab in total. So if you want to come and celebrate with me, if you've ever heard my past podcast and you want to jump in my world, you want to awaken your psychic gifts, you want to truly experience that divine femininity and you want to reconnect to that intuition that flows within you naturally, as if you want to connect to your guides and your ancestors and your spiritual team and truly own your awakening and own your psychic gifts, this is actually the program for you, because you become a trained Akashic record reader, a trained psychic healer and psychic reader. So you leave with 3 certifications. So if this sounds like you, if you want to awaken your intuition, this is actually a sign from the universe. My spirit team chimed in well over a month ago saying, we're giving away scholarships because you're coming back to the podcast and get a social media, get a producer for your podcast is what they are. So I hired the absolute most amazing producer who's going to look after this podcast now and make my job an absolute dream, because there's nothing more than I just love talking about being psychic. So this here right now, if you're listening to this before the 30th of September 2024, you need to run and go apply for this scholarship because it will change your life. I've helped hundreds of women change their life through this program, and I hope you're next. So with that, we're ready to dive into this week's episode. I'm so excited. I'm here to tell you and help you understand what the hell's been happening for the last 12 months in my absence. And also, I just feel so blessed to be back in your ears and reconnected to you in the quantum. So it was a long year break, and I really didn't expect to go dark. I didn't expect to kind of fall into a Bali bubble and meet amazing people and really start to attend workshops 3 to 4 days a week. I just was in the Ubud bubble. I just love Ubud. It's such a magical place. Bali holds the biggest space in my heart, and I can't wait to go back at the start of next year. She will always be my home away from home. So Bali was intense. If you followed me on social media, You will have seen the stories of my Kundalini awakening. You would have heard the stories of just like I went back home for a little while and I went back to Bali and I moved around a lot and I experienced a lot that Bali had to offer. And really, the things that I learned in Bali were these deep codes about connection and how we communicate as humans and what level of intimacy can we bring to a situation and how do we remain present when life is chaotic. And it was the most beautiful rebirthing again and again and again. And I don't even know if there was a part in my life that I was like, I don't think I'm going back to the podcast. I think I always knew I was coming here. I was just waiting for spirit and me to meet again in a place where we were both grounded and where I was ready. I feel like the last 12 months have been such a journey of remembering how deep my gifts run. This is something I've never talked about on the podcast, but when I was younger, 22 till 25, my intuition was at its strongest. When I became 25, 26, 27, 28, it wasn't as strong. And I always knew that my intuition was just in a cycle. I always knew that. I knew I was in a cycle of learning something else. I was kind of in the cycle of learning how to be a better human. And if you followed me for the journey, you would have seen I have spent the last 12 months and the last 24 months really learning shadow work. And I actually created my whole own modality, Somatic Shadow Work. So this is the baby I birthed in Bali. Somatic Shadow Work is a practice that mixes the psychic energetics with the psyche work of shadow work. And it brings it all together into a moving modality that focuses on emotions and triggers and allows us to move these pieces of knowledge through and out of our body with ease. And it was such a long experience writing this course. I spent the whole time I was in Bali, maybe like a good 9 months of the 13 months I was in Bali, I was writing this course and I'm only delivering it now. Hey, beautiful soul. If you've ever felt that nudge deep inside, it's your intuition calling you to step into something greater. Imagine a life where you're not just clocking in and out of a 9 to 5, but you're living in full alignment with your heart and soul, making a profound impact on the world around you. That's exactly what the Psychic Traineeship is all about. It's a 9-month transformative course where we'll deep dive into the mystic realms of psychic readings, the Akashic records, connecting to your spirit team, psychic healing, and so much more. You won't just gain certifications. You'll become the grounded, empowered healer you're destined to be. The best part, this program is designed for flexibility and freedom, allowing you to shape your own path. Work in person, online, or with groups. The choice is yours once you become a certified psychic. The live group calls are held twice a week in 2 time zones, so you're not going to miss a thing. This is through America and the Australian time zone, so just pick whatever schedule suits you. Each session is a sacred space for learning, practice, and deep connection with like-minded souls. Plus, you'll have access to ongoing support, pre-recorded modules, and community here to cheer you on every step of the way, because nothing is more powerful than a group of women where psychics come together and learn from one another. So imagine soul sisters, deep chats every single week, whilst unlocking your intuitive abilities and stepping up as the healer you know you incarnated to be. So if you've been waiting for a sign, this is actually it. Trust your intuition, take the leap, join the community of souls who are on the same journey as you. The freedom is yours. and the impact you have dreamed of making is within your reach. Head to my website to learn more and book your discovery call with me today so we can make a plan on how you can become the best psychic you want to be and how you can change the world, because I believe every light worker, every starseed incarnated for a deep reason, and I want to help you get there. So jump to my website and book your discovery call today. Which is wild to think that 3 months ago I decided to rewrite the whole of Activate Your Inner Psychic, my psychic traineeship. And I've been rewriting her. This has been my baby of 5 years. I've had this program for 5 years. It's seen so many students walk in and walk out of this program that I know that it works, and getting to enhance this program and really learn what it's like to stop being a one-on-one psychic coach and actually now teach a large number of women to open up to their psychic gifts. There has been nothing more sacred than I've done in my life than create these courses. And I was talking to a girlfriend today, and I said, honestly, I've never done anything as sacred as write a course. And I said, I'm sure there's things in the world, but I haven't experienced those yet. And I've really, in the last 12 months, fallen so deeply in love with psychic development. Like I fell in love in a relationship all over again. My intuition has deepened back to who I was when I was 21, 22, because when I was 21, 22, I actually had no problems in life, right? I actually had zero problems, and I worked at a job that I was like middle management. I could just breeze through. Nothing was too hard. It was all good, right? And since then, I'd taken on more and more responsibility. I'd become more and more stressed. I'd normalized more and more stress. I'd normalized working harder. I'd normalized being the person who just said yes. I'd normalized lots of things that the version I was at 21 wouldn't accept. And it was very slow. And in the last year, and especially in the last 4 months since getting to Thailand, and really just going through some deep, dark night of the soul, I became really unwell earlier in the month, and I lost my health. Like, I actually didn't know if my health was coming back, and I didn't know if I was going to be stuck with an unknown problem for a long period of time. No one can still tell me what it was or what it is. There's still a lot of questions, right? But what happens when you get struck down and you can't leave bed for over 21 days, right? You just sit. You just experience yourself. You question your belief system. I started like a whole new way of seeing the world in this 21 days. I also did a juice cleanse. So I drank orange juice for 21 days straight with all these herbs and supplements given by a naturopath. And I just experienced the void for 21 days. I was sicker for a little bit longer than 21 days. The cleanse was 21 days. I was sick for about 2 weeks before we started this, because we had to fly to another part of the country in order to do this cleanse. We actually were in Bangkok, me and my girlfriend, and we'd rented this beautiful apartment, and we thought it looked perfect, and we got there and the energy was absolutely horrible. The apartment was lovely, brand new, modern, just wasn't right for us. And we then went and hired somewhere else for a week, and I was sick in that week, and then we flew here to what feels like home on Koh Samui in Thailand. And I started doing this cleanse, and my girlfriend did it with me, which was so amazing because I was so sick. I could barely had the energy to walk downstairs. And at this time, we both received mega upgrades, like insane upgrades. Like, by the time I finished this cleanse, I left with a team of 3 because I sat in my Akashic records all day. Why? Because I had nothing to do. I've never canceled my clients, really. Like, I will cancel them if I'm sick, but I've never really been sick in the 6 years I've had my business. I've really never gotten too unwell. But this time I was unwell for weeks. I was unwell for days, weeks. And I missed so many calls, and I just knew that my health was more important, and it put things into a big perspective for me. I felt like I knew my life was going to change because I didn't know if I could run a business anymore when I was sick. I was so debilitated. I was just in excruciating pain that all I could do was lay in bed. I had this rash from top to bottom, and my body was physically swollen. I couldn't really even open my eyes properly. And this is quite graphic, but to experience something you don't know if it's going to go away was such a profound experience for me, because I was like, I don't want to lose my business. I love it. I love this job, guys. Thank you for all of my past clients. Thank you for this podcast. Thank you for letting me speak my truth on how amazing it is to be psychic and how it's not meant to drain you and how spirit wants to work with you and why we actually don't have to help spirit cross over because they're intelligent and connected to a 5D network that is much better than ChatGTP, right? They have every piece of information. It's called the Akashic records, and all spirit can enter it, though some spirits choose to pretend that we need to help them cross over because it's just part of the game we've chosen to play. We don't have to play that game. We get to play any game in this lifetime. You are the manifester. You are God. You are the creator. And when you remember your psychic gifts, you're remembering you as the creator are not gifted. You are source, intelligent life form on this planet, experiencing how good you want to make this reality. I believe no matter where you are, where you've come from, if you connect back to your intuition, to your inner truth, you will skyrocket. And that's exactly what happened in my OJ class. I had nothing but 21 days of sitting on a balcony or sitting in bed because as far as I could walk was my balcony. And I did so much shadow work and somatic shadow work in this time that I feel like I've quantum leapt. Like my relationship is strong as it's ever been. I've never been in such a strong relationship, and we haven't even been together that long. And just the constant choosing that my soul's purpose is more important than anything else. I've chosen that again and again and again. When I thought I was going to lose it, I begged for it. I begged myself. I said, Gabrielle, you have to do this in a way. If you can do 2 hours of client work a week, you can keep this. And I didn't want to keep it for the money. This is probably why I'm giving away scholarships, other than my guides think it's an absolutely wonderful idea. And I too back them. But because being psychic truly shifted my reality. The person I thought I was to the person I am now is nowhere in between a person I would point at next to each other, because they're just so wildly different. I guess the best way I can do it is, before I was connected to my psychic gifts, I felt like 4G. I felt like I was kind of like slow and behind, and I didn't quite get it, and I couldn't understand it all. But being connected is like 5G. The answers are just there. Ask GTP chat. Read your emails. Like, browse the web. The answers are always there, and they're just a second away. And that's the gift of being connected to your psychic abilities. So if you're wanting to become psychic, if you've tuned back into this first episode, I want to tell you all the great things that are coming with this season. Okay, I'm going to have amazing guests on this podcast. I'm going to invite my students to come and speak about what it's like to be psychic from the ground up, so you can hear firsthand from my clients who are just learning to be psychic what it's like and what they would tell you to implement if they were starting again. You're going to come, if you choose, to my free live activations that are the cornerstone of this podcast. This podcast isn't just me talking in your earbuds while you're on that walk, I see you, or on that jog, or listening in the car, or on the train, in whatever country, wherever you are. I created this to be a community, and I actually really want to get to know you, and I'm quite emotional. I have goosebumps from my guides and tears in my ears. Tears in my ears, guys. There's tears in my ears. No, my guide is definitely tingling the inside of my ear. But tears in my eyes, because I've decided every month to host either a masterclass or an activation for you. And on the 18th of September, I am running my first free masterclass for this podcast. It's a free womb healing. And I hope that you and women all over the world come to this. Hello, beautiful soul. I'm so excited to invite you to my upcoming free womb healing activation on September 18th. Yes, you've heard that right. It's completely free. And this is a powerful opportunity to reconnect to your inner feminine energy and release any past blockages that might be holding you back. This is a transformative session. We'll dive deep into the sacred space of our womb, our center for creativity, intuition, and feminine strength. Over time, our wombs can become full of emotional imprints and energy blockages that prevent us from fully stepping into our power. This womb healing activation is designed to help you release these blockages, rejuvenate your energy, and deepen your connection with your inner wisdom and feminine essence. Womb healing changed my life in so many profound ways. It allowed me to heal deep-seated wounds, reconnect to my creativity, and embrace my true feminine power. This healing opened doors to new levels of intuition and empowerment, transforming not just how I live my life, but how I showed up in the world. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this with you for free. I want every woman to experience this deep, life-changing healing. Why should you attend? Because we're going to go through an emotional release. We're going to let go of past traumas and energetic imprints that no longer serve us. We're going to have creative awakenings by tapping into our innate creativity and inspiration. We're going to strengthen our intuition and enhance our connection to our inner guidance systems through remembering the power of our womb space. We're going to give energy renewal through my spirit team. They're going to send radiating energy with newfound strengths, and ultimately this is going to lead us to feminine reconnection. This is more than just a healing session. It's a journey back to yourself, to your true power and potential. Whether you're looking to heal, rejuvenate, or simply connect with your inner femininity, this activation is for you. So you don't want to miss this. So pull out your calendar right now and jump to the 18th of September. This activation will take place at 5:30 p.m. Bangkok time to around 7. There is a lot of time zones out there, and I know it's complicated, and I'm a psychic who travels the world. So I have created really easy for you. If you just jump onto my website and sign up for the free community, you're actually going to receive a link to the community. This means every single month in this community, you will receive emails and you will be able to save the community calendar, which tells you what free activations or what free masterclasses are coming. And I aim to drop a masterclass or an activation every single month for the next 12 months. So you're going to want to join this community because this isn't a once-off thing. This is a monthly gathering of like-minded souls from all over the world who listen and tune into this podcast. And this community is going to be full of juice. So jump to my website now and join this community. I'm going to see you there. But let's get back to this week's episode. Now, if you're like, Gabs, I want to come to this, tell me how. Let me tell you. In the show notes, you're going to see a link to my community. You're going to press that button. You're going to pop in your name. You're going to read what's coming up because there's this one, and I've already pre-planned the next podcast for you, like the next activation. And it's already in there ready to go with a calendar invite. So if you want to join today, you're going to get access to the womb healing and then the following month's activation. And each month I'm going to have these activations as portals to help you awaken your intuition. Whether you're working with me, whether you're listening to the podcast, whether you come to my free masterclass, whether you've done the free quizzes on my website, like I just want you to know that I fully believe you can be psychic. And that's what this community is all about. So I really hope to invite you to this free womb healing. And all the info's in the show notes, but it would mean the absolute world to me. So that's what's in store already. So that's all for this episode. I hope you have a great week. I'm going to talk to you next Sunday. Hey, gorgeous soul. I just wanted to take a moment and say a heartfelt thank you for tuning into this podcast. Your energy and your presence, it means the world to me. If you've been enjoying these podcasts, I have a small favor to ask, and it only takes a few minutes, but it makes a huge difference. If you would leave a review or share your thoughts, it would help us find our tribe and continue spreading this beautiful, empowering work. Your feedback helps more like-minded souls discover our community, and it inspires me to keep creating content that resonates deeply with you. So if you're feeling the love, please hit that review button. Let's grow this community together, continue to uplift, inspire, and transform. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being part of this journey with me. I can't wait to connect with you again in the next episode. But until then, I want to remind you there is a community here. If you jump to my website, join our community, come to the free monthly activations or masterclasses. And don't forget, in the community hub, there is a question and answers channel. And if you've ever wanted a podcast on a specific thing, or you've wanted to drop a question, go drop it in there. I want to make this podcast specifically for you. I want you to learn what you want to know, and I want you to become the best psychic you can be. And I'm just along for the journey. So go drop your questions, and I'm going to see you next week.